My bet is not just that the courts will draw the lines, but my question is which court will draw them. The going bet has been that Republicans rather go to the state Supreme Court because there's a 4-3 conservative majority rather than the federal courts, especially because federal judges in Wisconsin have expressed some sympathy to Democrats on their complaints about these maps being gerrymandered in past cases. So watch that. How's that process play out? Now, there's always a chance of a major, and I mean major miracle, where Robin Vos and Tony Evers agree on a map with Devin LeMahieu, but I just don't see that happening right now. So there's that. With the budget, I'm fascinated to watch. You talked about, the new fiscal year begins July 1st, but I wonder if they'll get one done on time. Not the legislature will pass a budget, but pass a budget the governor can sign by July 1st. The reason I bring that up is that, if you look at our fiscal situation, we have money that we're projected to have as a surplus at the end of this fiscal year, June 30th. We expect revenue growth the next biennium. In Wisconsin, we're not like the federal government where we shut down, there's no budget. It keeps going on. So will there be pressure to reach a compromise? Because this is an important budget for Evers. It's his re-election budget. Governors, for as long as I can remember, have two different approaches to their budgets. Their first budget, their 4-year term, is the pain budget. They do things they have to do to set themselves up for the re-election budget, which is more generous, which makes people happier and has more upbeat things. Well, Governor is going to write a budget in the middle of a pandemic. So there's not going to be a lot of happy news, I don't think, in that budget. However, will he push for things that his base wants? Will Republicans agree with him on anything? Or do we end up like we have in the past where things drag on and then once schools need their aid payments in the fall, we see real pressure to get something done? Maybe. We're talking split control again with a more conservative state Senate than we had this last session. It's going to be interesting to watch how that plays out. Election integrity. That is a buzzword I've been hearing from Republican lawmakers since November 3rd. What will that look like? If we had a functioning Capitol, you could imagine Tony Evers, Robin Vos, and Devin LeMahieu sitting down and hammering out some kind of compromise that gives and takes a little bit for every side about what we should do with elections in Wisconsin. How do we handle if we're continuing having large numbers of absentee ballots cast each cycle? We don't have a functioning Capitol right now. So more likely what I expect to happen is you'll see Republicans pass a bill that makes their base happy, that addresses the complaints of President Trump's supporters, and that Governor Evers is more likely to veto. Because remember, Democrats are looking at this going, okay, we had a Supreme Court decision, the Trump lawsuit, that didn't get to the merits of the Trump complaints about cured ballots, indefinitely confined, those absentee ballot requests, democracy in the park. But we got a concurring opinion from Brian Hagedorn that said if he did take up the merits, here's how he would have ruled. And he would have ruled that there weren't any problems with curing ballots. There weren't any issues with democracy in the park. There weren't issues with these things. So Democrats have an idea where that court would end up if another lawsuit came before them. They're going, well, we don't need to give in anything because we know where the court's going to be for at least the next couple of years on these issues. So watch how that plays out. If that becomes a big deal this spring about trying to do something that can make clerks' lives easier, but also get both sides to agree upon and pass.
Rewind. Your Year in Review is sponsored by the Wisconsin Realtors Association, bringing Wisconsin communities to life with great homes, businesses, and neighborhoods. The Wisconsin Realtors Association, the voice of real estate.